Welcome to Shadowproof. Evidence first, noise last.
In most UFO-related events, common characteristics include few witnesses, no physical evidence, vague targets, and occurrences at night. For example, the event with the most witnesses in Phoenix, USA. Although thousands of people saw the UFO simultaneously, because it was at night, it was difficult to clearly determine what they had seen. In 1994, at a school in Zimbabwe, Africa, over 60 students not only saw a UFO at the same time but also witnessed unidentified beings emerge from it. Notably, all of this occurred during the daytime. It can be said this is a rare third-kind encounter that happened in broad daylight. To verify the children's accounts, students were separated into different rooms to draw what they had seen. As a result, their drawings were astonishingly consistent. So what did they see? Today, we explore this UFO landing event at the school. On September 16, 1994, in the town of Ruwa, Zimbabwe, Africa. There is a private elementary school here named Ariel. The students in the school range from 6 to 12 years old, including both black and white students. They all come from wealthy local families. At 10 a.m. that day, students were playing in the schoolyard while teachers were meeting in the teaching building. In front of the playground were grasslands and trees, separated by the school's barbed wire fence. While the students were playing, a group of them suddenly saw a silver disc-shaped object slowly descending from the sky. It landed in the wooded area in front of the playground, had a gray appearance, and emitted light. Even though it was dozens of meters away, it quickly attracted the students' attention. Many ran to the barbed wire fence, trying to see the object clearly through the gaps. At that moment, two beings dressed in black appeared above the silver object. Their bodies were short and small, one standing on the disc and one on the ground. The being on the ground began moving toward the students. The students started screaming. According to later descriptions, these two beings resembled humans, wore black one-piece suits, and had gray skin. When moving, their feet did not touch the ground, looking as if they were hopping in a comical manner. As the being got closer, even though it was daytime, the students became frightened and ran away. In the schoolyard's canteen, the shopkeeper, Miss Kerman, was arranging goods. She was disturbed by the children's screams. A group of students ran to report that there was a small monster in a clearing in front of the schoolyard. Upon hearing this, Miss Kerman thought it was a trick to get her to leave so they could steal from the canteen. Since similar incidents had happened before, she did not want to go check. Afterward, the group of students ran into the teaching building, disturbing the teachers in their meeting. The students said there was a spaceship and a strange small black person on the playground. The principal, seeing the students were overly excited, told them to calm down and recount what happened. He then sent two teachers with the children to the playground to check on the small black person, but when they arrived, they found nothing. The children there said the small black person in the spaceship had disappeared. Later, the teachers checked the location where the spaceship was said to have landed, but found no landing traces either. That day, no adults were present at the scene. The principal and teachers thought it was a collective game by the children and did not investigate further. By the next day, many parents called the school asking about what had happened the previous morning. Because many children returned home showing signs of fear, night sweats, and incoherent speech. At this point, the school began to take the incident seriously. The principal started investigating what the students had seen on the playground the previous morning. Since no adults were at the scene, the investigation relied solely on the students' descriptions. This event also attracted the attention of local media. They rushed to the school to interview the students, trying to uncover the events of that day. Ordinary people often suffer psychological trauma after facing a UFO event. Here, they were children aged 6 to 12. When facing media interviews, these children couldn't clearly remember what happened that day. S presence disrupted their children. The school realized that to clarify the truth, they needed to invite experts. At that time, they found someone named John Muck. Mr. Muck was an American scholar of psychiatry and also the head of the psychology department at Harvard University. His specialty was child psychology, and since the 1990s, he had been researching the psychological trauma of alien abductees. Therefore, Mr. Muck was the ideal investigator for this. The school sent an invitation to John Muck, and he also took notice of the case. Thus, 2 months later, he arrived at Ariel School in Zimbabwe. First, Professor Muck met with the students to conduct psychological counseling for them. Then, he asked them to independently draw what they saw that day with pens. Drawing is an activity that every child enjoys, so everyone participated in it. Each child used their own way to describe what they had seen. These drawings showed many different details. The students drew various combinations of the UFO's door, windows, lights, landing gear, antennas, cockpit. Among them, some drew many windows, while others drew none. There were round doors, square doors, and some drew landing gear while others didn't. The colors of the UFO also vary, with many different details. T agree on the UFO. Regarding seeing aliens, some drew them with hair, while others didn't. Some drew them walking on the ground, while others drew them floating in the air. This once led many reporters to believe the incident was a form of mass hysteria, after the students were stimulated by something. This type of symptom often occurs in public places like schools and churches. Usually, one person becomes symptomatic, and causes the whole group to develop similar psychological states of fear, tension, and anxiety. In reality, they didn't see anything. It was just one child among them who behaved symptomatic. After symptoms appeared, that child told others, and everyone described the same thing. Perhaps what they saw was just a strong beam of light and 2 small black animals in the sunlight. However, Professor Mark didn't think so. He believed it was normal for students to draw inconsistent details about the UFO and unidentified creatures. Painting is a human instinct, and each person's understanding of the same event is different. Painting is a form of imagination and human brain's perception of external objects, unlike a camera that faithfully records images. Even if someone draws the sun green, it doesn't prove the sun must be yellow. That's the distance from the target, if they couldn't. Moreover, no matter how inconsistent the details students drew were, there were 2 similarities. That is, the UFO's external shape was elliptical. No child drew it as round, square, or elongated. The second point is, the small beings they drew were clearly humanoid. Moreover, the eye shape was similar, all unusually large. From these 2 points, Professor Mark determined that the children definitely saw something unusual that day. Appearance, through the students. They were not tall, wore black jumpsuits. Some had long black hair while others didn't, with 3 to 4 fingers. When moving, they were like on the moon, hopping step by step. This suggested they came from a planet with greater gravity than Earth, although some children said they floated in the air. During the interview, Professor Mark also noticed a student named Lisa, who described a detail different from the other children. She said that when she saw one of the small black beings, its eyes kept staring fixedly at her. Suddenly, a scene appeared in her mind, as if a breeze blew through her head. She no longer saw the school but a scene of Earth's apocalypse. All trees were cut down, the air was full of choking dust, and there was a very strange smell. Then, she heard the screams of her classmates nearby. Even after Lisa grew up, she still shared her experience at Ariel School in various programs. 1. Describe your special experience. 2. Professor Mark believes that it could simply be some advice that aliens wanted to convey to Lisa or humanity. 3. But why through such a method? No one knows. 4. Has the IEO event in Zimbabwe ever occurred? 5. From interviewing these students, one can sense that they definitely saw something that day. 6. Their expressions on camera are very natural, unlike a collective prank or mass hysteria. 7. I saw an object in one area of the ball. 8. With one object sitting on the other side and one sitting on top. 9. What did it look? 10. It looked like this, and his eyes were at the bottom. 11. And the ball over there? 12. Professor Mark finally pointed out that among the students, collective pranks did occur. 13. Usually, some older children would fabricate. 14. Then pass this story on to the younger children. 15. And so, all the children spread the rumor. 16. However, in this case, the children who were injured. 17. They didn't just hear about it. They all admitted to having seen this thing. 18. This ERIO event ultimately never reached a definitive conclusion. 19. After that, the school no longer saw the UFO, and everything returned to normal. 20. Even until now, this school remains the same. 21. This event is the most famous UFO event. 22. And also one of the few mass sightings of UFO. 23. And those students who witnessed that strange scene in 1994. 24. From the interviews, one can sense the anxiety in their hearts. 25. Or perhaps because they weren't believed or understood. 26. However, Professor Mark didn't mock them. 27. But made them recall seriously, inadvertently encouraging them. 28. Thanks to this, after growing up, they still stick to their own views and choices. 29. Rather than easily doubting themselves, giving up, or compromising. 30. Thank you for watching. If you like, you can subscribe to watch the next videos. 31. Or if you have time, you can watch more videos from this channel.
If the proof convinced you, subscribe and open the next case.